I'm now going to take you through 2 exercises for your arms. So we're going to stand in the band for our first exercise, and then we're going to pull the band backwards. We're going to hinge at the hips first, so your body is leaning forward, and then we're going to just pull backwards with our arms. So you can feel that work in your arm and maybe into the shoulder and upper back as well. Once we've done these, we're going to move on to our bicep curl. So you might find you need to move to 1 foot in the band for your bicep curl if you've got a short band. And then we're going to come back to our rest pose. I'm going to now take you through the dead bug. This is a great exercise for building core strength. It's also going to work the different sides of the body, which is a really great way of building strength and focus throughout your whole body using those fascial slings. So what we're going to do is we're going to come down to laying on the mat. Thinking about your setup, your feet are hip distance apart, your pelvis is in neutral, so your tailbone is pointing off towards the end of your mat. You're going to bring your arms up into the air so your palms are facing your knees. Going to take an inhale in the middle, and then on your exhale, engaging your core and pelvic floor, you're going to stretch that opposite arm and leg out away from the midline of your body. Hold it there for an inhale, and then exhale, come back to the center. The lower you take your leg and arm, the harder it gets. So pick a position that works for you. Every time you stretch that arm and leg out, I want you to really think about pulling your ribs down towards your hips, pulling your hip bones together. So you're really engaging those core muscles to sustain that nice neutral spine position whilst your arm and leg move away. Keeping your shoulders relaxed, making sure you're not bringing your shoulders up towards your ears. Really stretching out through that arm and leg. And when you return to the middle, bringing your knee to over your hip. Make sure you're keeping that good tabletop position. And then you're going to bring both legs down to the floor, take a full body stretch, and then return to our rest pose. Next, I'm going to take you through a press up rotational flag. So you're going to come into your plank position, going to do a press up, and then we're going to rotate up to one side, come back to the center, and then rotate to the other, come back to the middle, and then go back into another press up. This is a really tough move. So if you need to reduce the reps down or have a little break, hit pause, have a break, and then come back into it, that's absolutely fine. I totally understand. Keeping in that nice plank position, so there's a nice line from your shoulder through your hips into your ankles. Try not to let your bum get any higher. As you press up, you could always come into a 3/4 press up if you were finding a full press up too challenging, and then go back into your plank for your rotation. We're thinking about that rotation coming from that mid spine, so really think about rolling that rib cage, opening up those chest muscles. Every time you put your hands down, make sure your hand is going under your shoulder so we're supporting the elbow. And once you're finished, coming back into your rest pose. Well done. I'm now going to take you through a really nice hip mobility exercise. So you're going to need a thicker mat for this one, and I suggest you try and make sure your knees land on the mat. We're going to bring those feet out so they're hip distance apart, hands are behind you slightly, and we're just going to gently rock to start with from side to side. You can hold it for longer if at each side if you're getting a nice stretch through the side of your leg. If you've got your hands on the floor, that's fine. Just make sure you're not leaning your weight back onto them. If you are, just bring your hands up off the floor. And then we're just going to go into stretching out and pulling ourselves up onto our knees. So you're going to push your weight forward and onto that knee. So you can see why from the video you want to have your knees on something soft like the mat. The knee on the floor is always really uncomfortable and it's not going to do your knee joint any good. So make sure that your knees are on the mat. This is also fine if you're on a carpet, that would be okay. And then once we have finished our set, we are going to come back into the rest pose. I'm now going to take you through a really great exercise for hip mobility. So we're going to do 90-90 stretch. So coming to sitting, so your knees and your feet are together in front of you, and then let your knees fall over to one side. You're going to pick up the top leg, bring it round so your hip and your knee are in line and your foot is off behind you. You might need to put something softer underneath the foot if you're on a hard floor. So you've got two 90-degree bends in each knee, and you're going to hold this for around 30 seconds. This is a great exercise for improving the mobility at your hip. So we're just going to hold this stretch. It's going to help to relieve the tension that you sometimes get in the hip flexors. And then when you finish, swapping to the other side. By releasing the tension at the hip flexor muscle, so in the front of the hip, we can help to contribute to better pelvic and spinal alignment, which is really key for good posture. And when you're finished, coming up to your rest pose. I'm now going to take you through a myofascial release tennis ball roll on the bottom of your foot. So I'm using a spiky massage ball, but you could use a tennis ball or even a lacrosse ball. Just going to roll the ball for 15 seconds under your toes and the ball of your foot. Then you're going to move it back into the middle of your foot for another 15 seconds from side to side. And then finally, you're going to just push the foot forward and slide it back along that ball. And we're going to do that for about 30 seconds, but do it for a period of time that feels right for you. So no more than a minute, but somewhere between like 20 seconds and 60 seconds would be fine. And then we'll swap to the other foot. And this is just going to help to rejuvenate the arches of your feet and get your feet working really well, get them sitting in better alignment. And that has massive consequences for the rest of the kinetic chain. So thinking about where your knee sits, where your pelvis sits, and working further up into the back. And then once you feel like you've done enough on the bottom of your feet, just going to gently come back into our rest position.